Good afternoon, folks. We are live and up and running once again. Let me get everything switched over and set up, and we will get started with today's drawing stream. All right, should have video. Turn on BGM. Should be loud enough. We're doing a different royalty-free playlist today. Kind of more of a video gamey sounding selection of tunes. I think we are good to go. So it's been a hot minute. Today on the drawing stream, I wanted to do something a little bit different from all of the character study sketch sessions that we've been doing up till now. And as the title of the stream would suggest, I want to do some kind of free brainstorming for creature ideas. And this isn't for any dedicated project at the moment. It's just something I haven't done in a while. And I kind of want to just play around with some ideas while talking through them in real time. And so I've prepared a blank file here. There's nothing in this one. But kind of different from what we've done in the past where I've just kind of started sketching things. I want to have kind of like a series of steps that I want to use in fleshing out the design. I don't think I'm going to render and color anything today, but rather than just sketch like, you know, a head and move on to something else, I want to start with a concept for like a body type or like a rough pose, then try and flesh out the main design starting with the head, and then see if I can sketch out a more detailed, I don't know if we fully realized this is big on the canvas, but even if we started small and we roughed in kind of like a basic body shape and pose primary, and then maybe scale it up a little bit so that we have a more realized full-size sketch, then I think that might be an interesting idea, because it can basically lead us from original idea and concept to something that's more fleshed out. And if I wanted to take it and turn it into a fully rendered image, then I can use all of the different sketch ideas and just build off of that, which I don't think I've done that particular order of steps. So we'll see what kind of results we get. And so for creatures, non-humanoid type creatures, for the first one, I kind of wanted to focus on a larger body type, maybe something kaiju adjacent. So if we take a look and just start sketching rough shapes for what the body type would be, if we were to go kind of like a typical Godzilla type build, then we would do something like, probably like this. And if you separate them into layers like this too, if I have different ideas for different kind of body types, then we could put them all on one sort of reference layer and then just move it around while I look for space to draw something else in the process. So maybe we do kind of like just a free sketching exercise and figuring out a couple different body types for the first one we want to do, and then we'll build off of that. could also do something that's more of a quadruped, a four-legged creature. Spread them out a little bit more. Could also do maybe something a little non-standard in shape. Originally my thought was something bug-like, but I don't think that's what this one's ultimately going to look like, just based on the body shape. More alien-like. Or plant. It could double as like a plant body type too. Thinking about other type of creature body types, you could do something with wings. Maybe bird-like. Keep hitting my mic. Hopefully that's not coming across too loud on the broadcast. I have my mic kind of over the corner of my tablet so I could talk normally, but it's so close that my stylus hits it. Let me move this a little bit to the side. There we go. That's better. I have to be a little bit careful. I'll hit the end. Okay, maybe to round out, some standard creature body types. You do something aquatic. Got terrestrial, land-based, one air / bird type. Maybe do one. I'll put it over here. That'd be something aquatic. Hey, first time chat from Angular Weevil 20 asking, what am I drawing? Well, first off, welcome to the drawing stream. I am doing some free sketching ideas for creature concepts. On the drawing streams we do occasionally here on the channel, we've done a lot of kind of character-based brainstorming sessions over the last few times, but my background is actually in drawing non-human creatures, and I haven't done it in a while. So what we're doing is coming up with some ideas for just general creature concepts, and what I'm doing first is just sketching out some body types that we can use. And then I was talking at the start of the stream about something I want to try kind of for the first time today, where I kind of start with a body type, then maybe sketch out something more detailed with, like if we went, let's just say we went from this one right here, then I sketch out a more detailed head to kind of flesh out some of the design elements, and then from there I go into a more detailed kind of full-sized or closer to regular scaled sketch of the whole thing. So we're doing kind of like in phases and iterations. Normally I just go and I just start sketching stuff, but I want to try something a bit different today. Well, that is the goal. We'll see how productive we end up being. But for like an aquatic type, originally my thought was like a big eel. So maybe do kind of a serpentine body, but give it some fins and some other qualities that make it well suited for water. Hey, Ramen's here. Ramen says it's Pikachu. No, I'm not trying to get sued. How's it going, man? Welcome to the stream. How's life treating you? How about you? This was a busy work week. I'm glad the weekend is here. Okay, let's put that over here. Ramen says, work rough, glad it's the weekend. Yeah, dude, I hear that. But it's better than not having a job. Marginally. Like, I know you work crazy shifts for what you do, which is gotta be a challenge. Hey, Bits is here. What's up, Bits? Good to see ya. Likewise, welcome to the drawing stream. How's your week been? Sounds like everybody's been busy. It says work has been rough for me too. Yeah, I think everybody's busy with stuff. Normally I don't have like a non-standard work week. Like I work a set amount of hours, but I had something really important that I need to get done earlier this week. So I ended up pulling like a 14-hour day, which I don't normally do. So I'm technically not supposed to, but I had to get something done that was really important. So needless to say, that was a very, very exhausting day. Okay. This gives us 5 creature body types to work with. I am tempted to go for the weirdest one to start sketching out a base concept for. I think I'm going to go for this one. I don't know if it's like a plant or an alien plant, but it's such a weird basic body type. I think we can do something interesting with that. Okay, we're going to start on a new layer. And kind of explain what I was talking about before from how I want to do each step in sketching as an experiment. Now that we know the body type, the next step will be to do kind of a more detailed sketch of the creature's head to give us an idea of what type of attributes it's going to have. We'll start down here and do that. I've got an idea. Let's see how it pans out here. I'm going for here is kind of like a carnivorous plant. Before I said carnivorous plant, I think it makes sense to give it a lot of teeth. I do want to give this thing eyes. That's what's going to go up here. This would kind of be like a sunken in area on the face, as it were. Here's how we'll do the eyes. If this was going to be colored and shaded, we can give them a bit more depth and texture so it doesn't look like just circles. We'll get some drool, just to make it extra gross. I'm thinking if we take that base design and apply it to that body type, we'd give it kind of a long, flexible neck like that. But what we want to do next is take this zoomed in shot here of the head and then figure out how we're going to build out those ideas for that body type for like a more full-sized, in quotes, sketch. Ram says, hi bits, sorry I grabbed pizza and needed both hands. Oh, what kind of pizza did you get? I will have to live vicariously through you because it's fast day, so I don't get to eat today. Three meats. That sounds good. Ah, for you and the family. I wasn't gonna judge. If you're gonna eat 2 whole pizzas by yourself, you know, you do you. Alright, so I've simplified down the details on the face because we're going to sketch out more of the entire body. Okay, the body itself, I kind of did a pear-shaped. I was thinking, what if we make it more against? I think we're going plant. It's kind of what the general vibe of this one is looking like. It resembles a pine cone now. I have a plan. Ooh. Let me see, we got a hydrate and a stretch from ramen. I drink a lot of water. Can't do smoothies like I normally do, but I can drink a boatload of water. Okay. Here's my thought. This thing has sort of it's almost like a layered, like frond looking body with the head coming out kind of in the middle, and there's more in the back, almost like a flower. And instead of roots, because this thing's supposed to be mobile, it's not just anchored to the ground normally, we have these kind of tendril-like appendages that come off the bottom and allow it to move around. Let's move you a little bit further down here. I'm gonna put in some, I don't know if they're not really eyes, but these kind of decorative things on here, or like crystals, to give the parts of the body itself some more detail and variety. I imagine they would glow if this thing was to be animated and moving around. I'm thinking, again, from the main sample up here, I'll give it 2 like arm appendages, in addition to all of the kind of ambulatory lower body ones. I'm going to put my mic a little bit higher up. Let me know if you folks have difficulty hearing me. I'm getting tired of my stylus smacking into my mic. Ramen asks, excited for October? I am looking forward to October. That reminds me, let me test something. I updated my chat command for Extra Life. Let me go into Elements real quick and see, because I forgot what I called it, but I wanted to make sure that you folks could see the right link. I think Bits pointed out a while back that I had the wrong old link to Toxicure's Extra Life campaign. So let me log in real quick and see what I set for the command. Can I change the interface of the main site? Oh, there it is. Oh, is it exclamation point extra life? Okay. Does that go to the right link? It does. Okay, good. All right, I'm gonna try and start plugging that more as we start counting down to the actual event in October. Yeah, it should be a good time. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody. All right, there's the other one. think that is roughly the body shape that I want for this one. I'm putting some more specific details, and we'll see if we need to add anything else. Oh, Ramen redeemed Old Man Music recommendation. Oh, it's been a while since someone redeemed that. All right, I want to explain how that one works, since it's been on the list for a while, but people don't redeem it that often. When someone redeems that one, I need to recommend a song for people to check out that's got to be at least 20 years old, because I am very old. And what I normally do is let people pick the genre, unless they don't care, which I'll just pick something random. But for Ramen, what genre recommendation do you want? And that'll give me something to think about. I might have to go pull up my Spotify. You're a music guy too, so that I gotta think of something kind of more obscure for you. Yeah, if you don't have a specific genre, then I'll see if I can find something. All right, let me grab my Spotify. Alright, let me see what I got to work with here. I think the last time someone asked me for a recommendation, I think I picked something from the 80s. I think you probably know 80s decently well. Let me take a look at my 70s list. Okay, I think I got one. I didn't realize the song was from the 70s. But what I usually do is I will go and grab like a link to the music video on YouTube, and then I'll put it in the community Discord under Old Man Music Recommendations. That way people can see what's been recommended in the past. It's kind of just a running channel for me to put the links in both places. So let me go see if I can find it first. Ramen, how well do you know funk? While I'm looking this up. Ramen says I know a good amount, not too much. Okay. I don't know how popular the song was. I learned about this one back when I was more readily doing dance stuff, since it's a really good song for like popping and dance battles and stuff. So let me grab the link and I'll put it in the chat here, and then I'll drop it in the Discord real quick. But the song is called Peanut Butter by the group 29. No, not Peanut Butter Jelly Time. Everybody knows that one. That's now considered old memes, which makes me very upset every time I think about it. But this one has got a really, really good solid beat, which makes it good for that kind of dancing. Okay, I think we have a pretty good prototype. Drummond says jet set radio type music. Yeah, I could see that. If again, if you know funk, that was popular in like the 70s and 80s, and that one is really similar in kind of style and vibe to something like Parliament, Funkadelic, or Cameo. Some of those kind of pretty well-known groups that were doing funk type music, but I'd never heard of that band before it came up in like a dance battle. But it pops. All right, I think we can move on to the next example in the study. We'll call this concept 1. Okay, this will be number 2. I think I want to go for the quadruped body type here. Might not be that exact same pose, but that type of 4-legged, low to the ground type of creature next. Once again, start with the head. Look at this one, shorter teeth. Originally, I was thinking maybe kind of large ears, and then realized I would be just blatantly ripping off some of the classic like Godzilla type monster designs, which I do not want to do here because I don't want to get sued. thinking kind of like a rough texture on the body, you know, like armored shell or plating. Oh, yeah, I did mean to ask, Ramen, since you're here, and I know we haven't talked about it in a minute, but have you been doing any of the Monster Hunter Wilds recent content? I think we're due for next week. There's going to be a stream talking about some of the endgame tweaks they're going to be adding, which was originally going to be in the September update. But they're moving it up, probably to give people stuff to chew on while they hopefully work on the optimization fixes. Fingers crossed. But some of the recent hunts they added have been pretty difficult. Found that they're certainly challenging. And I'm still very much enjoying the game. It got to the point where I had to kind of stop reading the discourse of people talking about whether or not they think the game is good, because it just gets tiresome after a while. Somewhat recently, when I was streaming Wilds, and that was last week? It was last week. I started playing Hunting Horn, which was a lot of fun. Challenging, but still fun. Okay, I think this gives us a good base to start with for our second subject in the study. Now I gotta do a more fleshed out sketch for the body. I think the route I'm gonna go for this one, I kind of know already. It's going to be pretty similar to the one up here, but I think I'm going to flatten out its position so the body's not quite as arched. Okay, I'm gonna kind of a shorter neck here now. I think what we're gonna do for the body. Don't think I want to go like armored turtle, since again that's pretty close to a couple specific well-known kaiju designs. We got kind of short, more stubby limbs. This thing's gonna be close to the ground. I think I have an idea for the hands. Yeah, we'll give the hands, and I think the feet too, more of a protective plating. Based on the design so far, I think we're going kind of more like a rocky, like stone element type of creature. That doesn't mean we're locked on a path though. In fact, I got an idea. We'll see if this pans out well. I'll explain my idea for these things in the back in a sec. Should probably be saving more often too. I'm notoriously bad at remembering to save my work. Clean up the area between these so it doesn't blend together quite so much. Put this one further down the back. There should be 2 sets of 3. Alright, we should be able to add a little more detail to flesh everything out. I think I'm going to move this one off to the side and give myself a little more space. I'll put you down there. Okay, I think we have our basic design prototype for this one done. Initially, when I started sketching out specifically the head and the body, my initial thought was like a rocky, like stone element affinity creature. But then, when I put these things on the back, I had a different idea. So instead, I'm thinking like a lightning-based creature. Probably not the most groundbreaking of ideas, but I kind of like the idea that the projections on the back would be able to channel and or release electricity as a means of attack or defense. Conceptually, what I kind of envision this thing doing would be kind of calling down and summoning like lightning from the sky and storing it on these things on its back and then being able to shoot it in all directions. There's a Pikachu reference. And I think if it was animated, you would have the things on the back. I don't know if they'd be made of like a metal or like a bone, but they would be able to move. So maybe they look like they're kind of upwards and reaching upwards and outwards, and then for actually shooting or redirecting the electricity somewhere else, then they like point forwards, or they change their orientation so they can direct whatever it is this thing's attacking with. Okay, let's move on to another one. Go ahead and hide that one. We'll do a recap towards the later part of the stream, and I'll talk through each one of the ones we've sketched out and put together here and explain the thought process. But I could do the bird, like a bird type. I don't know if it's going to be exactly like this one up here, but might be a similar starting point. Okay, once again, we're starting with a close-up sketch of the head. What kind of bird would make the most sense? Okay, it's more of a closed mouth render on this one, I guess. thinking horns. Let's see enough birds with horns. I think I want to kind of flesh out this part behind the head. It's supposed to be like feathers and plumage. I did not do a good job. That's a little better. Let's make it look like layers. Okay, I think that'll give us a good place to start. And the demon bird, what it looks like to me. Now let's think about how we're going to actually translate that to a more fleshed out concept, full body sketch. I think I have an idea what I want to do here. Is going to be kind of like a side-facing profile, similar to down here. the larger head sketch. It'll be slightly turned more to the side. Okay, now for the body, my initial thought was to do kind of like a sitting pose. Like this thing's kind of just... I think how to draw the legs. Might actually have to look up what birds look like when they're sitting like that. My original thought was the legs be kind of tucked under the body and just sitting straight up on the ground like this. We'll rough in kind of the feet right now. I think I'm gonna have to fix that. Move you a little bit further down in the room. My thought here was to have the wing sort of outstretched, just one of them, and the other one kind of folded back behind the body over here. The idea on the wing was kind of like sharp, almost blade-looking feathers, but I don't know if I'm happy with the patterning. Just trying to rough it in for now. It's not bad. If this was going to be a final piece, I'd have to make this a lot more consistent. Clearly I need to draw more birds. Get more practice. Okay, it's coming together a little bit more. Oh, I could, I don't think about that. I could blend the patterning on the feathers so it looks like it's connecting from like the legs and the lower part going up the body. The idea, I don't know how effectively this was communicated here, but the idea was that the patterning on the feathers is going up, where normally, I mean, for birds in general, this is the body. The feathers go down in that direction. The idea here is that they're going the opposite direction. They're layered upwards. This might be one of the messier ones that requires some reworks, but I like the basic idea. I think the feathers just need to be kind of done a little bit better, but that's why it's a sketch. Okay, let's try and clean up some of the edges here. Make it look a little more distinct what I'm doing. Alright. That's a little better. Still kind of a rough sketch on this one. Okay, let's summarize what we have here for subject number 3. This one, a more avian design. I don't know what sort of elemental affinity or whatever I would assign for this one. It might not have like a set type of element. But I think that has potential for something. It's the feathers, though. I think the most challenging part is all of the detail with the feathers. I'll have to think about that if I decide to use that particular design for something. I kind of like the way the details on the head and the close-up look over here. But the design's very busy with all of the feathers, so might require some more reworks. That, and I should probably practice drawing birds more. Alright, I think we have time to do one more. I think for this one I do want to go for the kind of stereotypical kaiju-esque body type. I have an idea. Let's see if this one comes together easier than the last one. Okay, jaws are a little bit shorter on this one. I actually changed my design idea midstream. I'll talk about it, what I'm doing in a sec. Originally, I was thinking kind of like a robot creature. But I think I want to go more of like a reptilian creature for like a kaiju. But we'll think about how we can give it some specific details that'll set it apart from your standard, well-known kaiju designs from media. Alright, so the end result is kind of a more dragon-ish type of head with this like spiked horn crown on it and parts of the shell that are kind of hooked. Now the real question is, how do we turn that into a more unique design? Okay, we'll start with just the general body shape. Now the body shape, I'm going to change its positioning slightly. It's not going to be facing the same direction as this one. The body's facing this way and it's kind of looking to the side. Alright, I'm still trying to think of what I want to do with the upper body. Might be able to bring that robot idea back, actually. Maybe a little bit different than I originally planned. I think this one's going to be interesting. We'll see if I can talk through kind of my idea, and we'll see if it actually works out. My thought here, I kind of decided after I did the lower body, was that the limbs, since they're kind of separated, the way they're drawn from the main torso itself, will be like the actual limbs are like cybernetic implants and mechanical. So this thing's kind of like a mix of organic and mechanical parts. A big cyborg kaiju type of creature. And that would explain why, unlike kind of stereotypical large kaiju shapes that are like this, they're bipedal, they tend to have smaller upper arms. Think of like Godzilla and other similar ones from media. The arms tend to be a little bit smaller, kind of like a T-Rex. This one has much longer arms because they're mechanical. And likewise the tail. Pretty much all of the extremities are made of like a metal, like a flexible metal type of material. Okay. That is kind of a departure from what I originally thought I was doing with this one. I think if this were a fully fleshed out design, some of the things that are in the close-up head render would need to be reconciled a bit more, since the sketch is simplified. Alright, let's go ahead and save our progress here. What I'll do is I'll hide this. We can do sort of a recap. This one kind of went in some directions I wasn't expecting. Changed my mind a couple times as I was sketching out the details. Change this a little bit. I think this leg needs to be moved out just a hair. Okay, there we go. Now let's recap. What did we do in the session? I don't think I have enough space to fit all 4 of these on the canvas at once. Let's try. So we started with subject 1 in the creature study, using kind of the non-standard body type for like an alien plant type thing. And what we ended up with was this weird pine cone plant creature. It has the kind of petal-shaped body, a bunch of tentacle feet, and two larger arms, in quotes. If we had more time to sit there and kind of tinker with the designs, I would probably kind of kick around ideas for color paletting, what the actual colors of each of these things was going to be. But we will leave that for a future exercise. Yeah, these aren't going to be able to fit on the same canvas. So moving on, subject number 2. We used a more low-to-the-ground quadrupedal body type to create this creature. And talking through the design, it kind of evolved from like a rock stone type of creature to one that is able to channel electricity, lightning. I was giving some thought to the colors. For that first one, we'll do kind of like an overview about the color paletting. I won't actually put down swatches or put down color, but for this one, it would probably be a mix of kind of natural plant-like colors, some dark greens, and maybe some kind of lighter, like venomous patterning you can see on poisonous or toxic creatures or plants. For this one, I think it would be kind of more muted colors, maybe for the things on the back, which we didn't really decide if they're kind of metallic or bone. I think that would determine what colors would be used, but for the base color, maybe like a copper earth tone color palette, but then a contrasting either like a lighter, rough textured bone coloring, or it would be metal, something metallic for these things on the back. Whatever route we went for deciding what they actually are and how they behave. For the third prototype design, we went for an avian bird-like creature. Oh, Code Pink Gamer followed. Hey, thanks for the follow. Much appreciated. Hopefully you enjoy your time amongst my community, the Space Bees. But I think of the 3 so far, the bird gave me the most trouble. I'm not an expert in drawing bird body types. I think the head kind of dictates the overall design. We decided this was going to be kind of like a demon bird of sorts. I don't know if it's so much like a supernatural type of creature. Kind of no lore to establish, but the big challenge on this was all those friggin' feathers. I decided to do something different, have them going the opposite direction in some cases. But of the 4 that we sketched out here on stream, I think this one would probably require the most tweaking if I was going to adapt this into a design for something. And the 4th one we just finished sketching out, we did kind of a more traditional, I call it like a kaiju body type. An inverted triangle when you think about it. Lower body's a bit wider, more sturdy, and then upper body's a little bit more narrow. It's like a triangle like this, upside down. But this one started off as kind of like a dragonish type of design, I suppose, and then once I got to doing all the details on the body and whatnot, I decided that it was going to have like robotic or cybernetic limbs. So kind of a mix of technology and organic features on this one, which is not where we started when we were sketching things out here. So overall, not bad. 3 or 4 rather. 4 unique concept designs is more productive than I'm usually. Depends on how much I yap, how much I talk about stuff. But if we look at the primary sketches here, the only one we didn't do was this kind of aquatic like eel or fish type of shape. And I think since I'd like to use this particular project in the future again for more design brainstorming like this, so for folks who are newer that stopped by today, I typically alternate what I draw when I do drawing streams, what I focus on. Sometimes it's for project specific stuff that I'm working on. Other times it's just sketching out ideas for either characters or creature designs or whatever I feel like, just doodling around. Sometimes we get a fully rendered, inked and colored and shaded final product, but that's not what we were doing here. Here was more of a idea and brainstorming and doing these different creature types, something which I haven't done in a while and I'd like to do more in the future. But this thing I got on screen now here, it has just these really rough body types for different creatures. I want to add more to this, so when we revisit this exercise in the future, I have more to experiment with. We could do, I think I talked about like a bug type of overall body, maybe something that's more mechanical, something more angular or even mecha-ish. I'm not super versed at drawing mecha in this format, but that could be another type that we try and adapt a functional design into. Pretty much anything that's not humanoid, since the whole point of the exercise was to try and come up with things that are non-humanoid in nature after doing a lot of design brainstorming with quote-unquote people. I could show what that looks like again for folks who might not have seen it before. This would have been the result of our last drawing stream. Let's see, let me figure out which one it is first. It is number 9. So what we spent probably the greater part of like 3 or 4 streams sketching out is character outfits and designs for clothing and armor from a big lore project that I've been developing for a while. And this is the second series, so it's not the best illustration of what the end goal was, but if we go to the first set, this was what our goal was. There were 11 races, and I wanted to do 2 designs per race, so 22 in total, 1 male, 1 female. This is the first half, and this is the second half. And this format in drawing designs in the sketch format, sketch layout rather, with like a symmetrical plane to mirror things if I was going to do symmetry. We worked on this for a while, and I've been meaning to do character outfits for a bit, and I've kind of forced myself to follow this structure. And it took a few streams, but we finished the full set of 22. And then I moved on to working on the second set. And I don't know when we'll be back to this format, because we did it for several streams in a row, and I don't want to get kind of stuck doing the same thing. I tend to do these drawing streams every couple weeks or so, in between all of the other stuff that we do here on the channel. But I think the creature study was about par for productivity, maybe a little more than usual for something like this. But what we can do is get ready to wrap up here. I need to go run and take care of some stuff before it gets too late. I wanted to stream earlier, a little bit earlier than I normally do, and not normally on a Friday, but we can go ahead and take a look at who else is online. And I don't know who's normally around on Fridays, but we could find a channel to raid. Let's see. Oh, Ladybug is live. What is she playing? A few quick matches? Is that the name of the game? I've never heard of that. Platform fighter. Alright. We can go and head over to Ladybug's channel and see how that's going. So let me go ahead and mute BGM. And we'll go to outro. And we will call that a successful, in quotes, drawing stream. We will be back tomorrow in the afternoon. I don't think anything's going to change tomorrow's set date, but we have to get back to our ongoing playthrough of Raido Remastered. And it should be 2 Pacific, as long as I don't wake up too late. But to continue the adventures of Detective Raido in old-timey Japan. So, should be good to get that playthrough back underway. But in the meantime, thanks to all the folks who came by and hung out. It was good chatting with you. Hope everyone has a good rest of your day or evening. And I will catch you in the next one. Now let's go see how the platform fighting's going.